much for being here. I think we've talked a little bit in the news about judicial reform. It's kind of made some headlines. Specifically for you, your NGO, Regavim, there is so much tied into the issue of judicial reform. Walk us through it if you can.
First of all, thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for Dudu Sada for the invite to this such important stage. Before I start, may I answer? I do have an American accent, but I was born and raised in Israel. So if I'm lacking a word here and there, I'm going to ask the audience to help me out. So the question about the judicial reform and the connection to Regavim, where Regavim we mostly do work that has to do with land issues. The land issues in Israel, in the Negev, the Galilee. In order to understand that, let me take you to a research that was done by the ISI, the Israel Democracy Institute. They publish, once a year, they publish a research that asks the public in Israel, how much do you trust the different parts of the government in Israel, the army, the institutions, thank you, the Knesset, the government, the Supreme Court. And something mind-boggling is that in 2003, there were 70% of the public in Israel that said they trust the judicial system in Israel. Today, 2023, it's around 40%. That means 60% of the people living in Israel do not trust the judicial system. That's crazy. That is not a democracy. Just a few weeks ago, we did another research in Regavim. We did another research. We wanted to find out from those 60% that do not trust, does it have anything to do with their political standing? And here's even a worse number, which is 90% of the people that voted for the opposition, they have trust in the judicial system. But 90% of the people that voted for this coalition do not trust the Supreme Court in Israel. That is not a democracy. The reason why we see the collapse in numbers from 70% 20 years ago to 40% of trust in the Supreme Court is because 20 years ago there was a gut feeling that the Supreme Court is biased. Today, that's not a gut feeling. Today, that is proven. Today, it's a proven fact that the Supreme Court is biased. How is it a fact? When we started in Regavim in 2006, our thoughts were that the Supreme Court is giving demolition orders only to Jews that built illegally in Judea and Samaria. We thought it's because the Supreme Court is not aware of the fact that there's much more illegal construction done by Palestinians in Area C, by the Bedouins in the Negev, just in terms of numbers. All the illegal construction in Area C done by Jewish settlers, we're talking about 4,000 illegal structures. At the same time, there are 80,000 illegal structures built by Palestinians in Area C. There are more than 85,000 illegal structures that were built by the Bedouins in the Negev, and approximately 40,000 illegal structures in the Galilee, and add to that the illegal structures that were built in East Jerusalem and all that. So we thought the reason why the Supreme Court gives demolition orders only to the Jews is because they're not aware of the fact that the Arabs are building. And that's when we started giving in petitions, many petitions. And what we did in this report over here, I have a few copies over here. Between 2008 and 2018, every 2 years we published a report. Every year there's an average of 20 petitions given in by left-wing organizations against Jewish illegal structures that were built by Jews. And we have approximately 20 petitions given in by Regavim against illegal construction done by the Arabs.
Let me guess, it comes out uneven.
Well, we didn't we didn't ask what was the bottom line of each court case. What we wanted to check is the way the system treats each and every of these court cases. And we did an average. Again, we're talking about 20 petitions on each side. Every 2 years we published it. And it's amazing to find the figures. Again, we're not talking about the bottom line of each of these petitions. We're talking about the way to the final line. So when you give a petition to the Supreme Court, before the judge even reads in depth the petition, he gives the state a number of days to answer to the petition. Okay? The average is when it's a court case given in by the left, the state has 18 days to answer. That means the state sees this as something important. Only 18 days to answer. On the other side, when it's a petition from the right wing, it's more than 30 days to answer. That means the court has time, no rush to deal with the situation. When we talk about interim orders, that means before the final decision, there's construction going on, right? So when the left goes to court against illegal construction that is going on, 84% of the petitions, 84% of the times, the court is going to give it a stop order, that you have to stop the work immediately before hearing the final decision. On the other hand, when it's a right-wing petition, only 13 to 84. That's a huge number. And it could go number after number, that means it's a fact that the Supreme Court is a bias. But that's only the numbers. If we go into examples, in 2006, a long list of petitions that were given in by the left organizations, such as Migron, Amona, Netiv Avot, Beit El, Ofra, and so on. The Supreme Court said a very clear message. If it's illegal construction that is built on privately owned land of Palestinians, the state has to demolish those structures. On the other hand, when Regavim came in with a long list of places where Arabs built on privately owned land, such as Bir Adaj and El Zarnug and Mitzpeh Dani and so on, over there the Supreme Court said no, the fact that it's on privately owned land, even though it's privately owned land by Jews, it doesn't matter. The state could decide whether or not to demolish those structures or no. And I could give you, again, a whole long list of those kind of things. So the bottom line is, we're talking about whether or not this is a democracy. And it's time that all of us have a democracy, not only the people that vote for the left.
Mayor Duytsch, Director General Regavim, easiest interview I've ever had, and have confidence in your English. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.